There is so much at stake in the future for our state and for this country. And when you really look at it, when they talked about what our president has done to bring about activation in our state, it really is also happening here in South Carolina. You look at the words of the candidates on the other side and how they want to take us in places that we long since passed. You hear them talk, they want to take us back to the Civil War.
Yeah.
You know, right? They're talking, they veto school buses. Right? We've got a governor who's never actually been elected governor, right? So you know what we're going to do together? We're going to make sure he is never elected governor, right? The other side wants to do everything they can to divide us and separate us. What we need to do is bring our state together, because we're all in this together. And so things like education, all of these things we can do, but you know how we can do it. We can do it when we elect a Democratic governor. And so we need an education governor. And I was really grateful early on in this campaign, working very closely with a dear friend of mine, one of our greatest governors who fought for education and moved South Carolina forward, is Governor Dick Riley and Secretary Riley. How about a round of applause for Governor Riley? He made a difference in so many ways in moving South Carolina forward in education. And he understands how to get there. And another, I guess, when we're making big leaps again in education, we had another Democratic governor, Jim Hodges. How about a round of applause for Jim Hodges? When Jim Hodges was governor, I was privileged to introduce and sponsor something called South Carolina First Steps to School Readiness. Anybody ever heard of that?
Yes.
How about it? Making a difference all across our state, in rural parts of our state and urban parts, and making sure kids are healthy and ready to learn. And that those types of investments that make a difference. And just as Senator Sabb was talking earlier, the opportunities are here, and they're coming here. But it's about aligning our school system from pre-K, K through 12 to higher ed, and making sure we're setting up our kids for success. We can do that, but we have to have the leadership in office to get it done. I know how to do it. We all know how to get it done. We got to win this election. We just need the will to do it. And so together we can get there. There are billions of dollars every year of your money that is going to other states to provide health care for other citizens. When it ought to come here, there are hundreds of thousands of South Carolinians that are depending on all of us and the work we do from now to November to make sure that we put a Democratic governor in that office to make sure that they're going to be there to say yes. I've been fighting my entire 22 years along with these guys to make sure that we help the right accountable for their decisions. And unfortunately, the numbers are the numbers, aren't they, John?
Yes, sir.
You work your tail off and make sure you make the case. But in the end, when you count the numbers of Republicans versus Democrats, we end up on the losing side. So the way to make the difference is to win this election in November. When we've been working to fight offshore drilling, and just as Mr. Watkins was saying earlier, it's been up there before, it's been there in the past, and each time I've joined my colleagues and passed resolutions and signed letters and did everything we could to fight and make sure that we would have no threat of offshore drilling off our coast. And I'm here to tell you right now that as governor, you can absolutely count on my full effort to make sure we will never see offshore drilling in South Carolina, and you can count on me to do that. I also understand economic development, and I've worked in that my entire life. And I know all of you in here know, that we don't just have one port in South Carolina, right? I think there needs to be a focus on supporting the growth of the Georgetown port and bringing jobs here. And just like Representative Anderson was saying, as governor, you'll have me as a big advocate for the growth of the Georgetown port, so we bring business to Georgetown.